The year is 2028. The city has been overrun with crime, drugs, homelessness, and corrupt politicians. But also the future is very progressive. We have a black chief of police, gender-neutral changing rooms,
Guys loose over on the east side.
You try to get back up.
strong female leaders,
Freeze.
and even gender-neutral people. How much fun were the 80s for gruesome action films? We had Rambo, Terminator, we even had John Carpenter's The Thing. But looking into today's choices of movies to go and see at the cinema, what we got? Like Barbie, which no one's going to watch twice. What's better than bringing to life retro cinema than actually making a decent game out of it? The original Robocop was described as the perfect film, by me, because it was awesome. As the perfect mixture of ridiculous story, graphic gore, brilliant comedy, and a little bit of horror thrown in as well. If you're going to write a story about a robotic police officer saving the city from crime, look no further than Robocop. It's done perfectly. So how does the game fare? Ordinary reflexes to meet this challenge. Well, I put the TV down then. Breach! I'm here! Die! 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 I use my reflexes. Oh, Tina Turner! Windows 95! Oh! I walk like I shit myself. Yeah! By a bunch of lesbians. Your town has been overtaken by lesbians. Robocop Rogue City was released in November of 2023. It's a first-person shooter developed by a company called Teon and published by Nacon. The story is based just after Robocop 2 and Robocop 3. Robocop 3 is something you don't want to watch because it spoils the whole series. Fourth one as well is pretty terrible, so just stick with the 1 and 2. When people say this game has been released to mixed reviews, they don't know what they're talking about. This game is brilliant, and let me show you why. Shit. So, Robocop Rogue City. He's a roid-induced Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz carrying a brutal side cannon, slaying 90s flannel-wearing lesbians, led by the singer from The Prodigy, Keith Flint, to save the city from the drug called Nuke. The cities are being ransacked with crime and disorder, and the police are in short supply. So the local government has essentially sold the police to a private company. So in the first Robocop, the police were actually sold to a company called Omni Consumer Products. So the police have been privatized by another company. So in Robocop Rogue City, it's the same thing again, where you have to go onto the streets, rescue the city, and follow Robocop making moral decisions and finding out who he really is.
Madam, you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center.
So the game's intro does a great job of setting the scene. We see a city in ruins and shows off the ridiculous nature of the criminals and the brutally flamboyant punky nature, which gives off similarities to the Batman film, where the Joker's lackeys use silly one-liners and dress like the iconic punk rockers.
Let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
They take over the airwaves, and now it's up to Robocop to save the day. Robocop arrives on the scene with the iconic music playing in the background that gives you the member-berry chills. Similar to when Superman shows up in all those old Superman films, that iconic link between the sound and the character arriving on the scene to save the day is brilliant. We get to take control of Robocop, and it's done perfectly. The metal clunking sound effect from his footstep, it gives you the first feel of his weight and the cumbersome nature of a hairy robot human. The movement is slow and sluggish, which totally works. It means you have to use cover and position Robocop in places to avoid bullet fire and grenades. Oh, cool. You got that kind of... Whoop. You got the kind of thumping noise of your feet. Oh! Mittens! That's me. Since you can't duck or dive out the way, it's a kind of a game where you got to shoot them first before they shoot you. Oh! Okay. Oh. So it's like a giant Mexican standoff. Funny enough, what sounds like the worst part of the game is actually the best part of the game, which is the combat. The combat is so smooth and silky, which means firing off bullets from the iconic Robocop PS3 terrifying bursts, it comes out with great ease and with fast reloading. With all the sound of the bullets ripping through flesh and people screaming and the splatter sounds of heads exploding into many pieces never gets old. Oh, headshot. Oh, this is fun. The gun feels great. Stop or I'll shoot. This is the best part in the game by far, and I'm only a few hours in as I'm making this, and I'm already discovering new and new weapons
Pick up anything, so I've got infinite ammo.
To add to the action-packed violence of the game. The iconic Robocop theme, which comes in and out at certain moments of the game, will always give you goosebumps. It hypes up the action scene and make you feel more like a hero, even though you've accidentally slayed 10 innocents already because you found the
Take
AK-47.
that, lesbians. Someone shooting me. Ow. Right. My health is running a bit low, so I have to press H. There we go. I found a key.
I doubt you had time between all the heroics, but I gotta keep.
So what lets the game down a little bit is the cutscenes, and the comedy doesn't land due to some odd timings and delayed punchlines. It feels like it wasn't acted out before the animators animated over the top of it. Also, the animation has those soul-dead eyes, like sometimes in Skyrim, where characters kind of look at you, but there isn't really any facial movement. It's a weird robotic feeling between what should be a very animated cast of actors, but it just seems a little bit dead and soulless in the eyes.
Go on, take it, you pussy.
There you go. Enjoy.
And also, the same voice actors seem to make a return over and over again, especially noticeable with the punks. Every punk, or every third punk, will seem to have that Joker sound, Mark Hamill kind of rustic voice that keeps appearing over and over again, which can be a little bit tiresome, especially in the cutscenes, where that high, energetic, screechy, clowny voice acting doesn't let up, and it's just incredibly annoying. There's also a few bugs in the graphics as well, which I don't mind. Sometimes characters will get stuck in the ceiling, or they'll be glitching legs. Just random things may happen with the graphics kind of meshing over each other, which isn't too bad. I mean, this isn't a AAA game.
Welcome to
You very
Windows.
rarely see any glitches in the game, and it doesn't take away from any of the experience at all.
Oh, grenade. Run. Run. Where did that go?
So all in all, the game is incredibly fun. It gives me that Far Cry combat feel, where shooting weapons is so clean and tidy, there doesn't seem to be any lag at all. Mixed with some bullet time cybernetic targeting systems, which does not get old, but gets more ridiculous as the game progresses. All in all, the game actually works really well. Even though your character walks at a really slow pace, you really got to think strategically as you build your character, because yes, there is levels and there are skill points that you can, by leveling up, which you can put into different skills of your Robocop, so you can make a bespoke Robocop character. So it's not as wild as in you can fly around in a pink dildo outfit, but what you can do is you can choose what kind of combat works for you. So you can either get really good at shooting, or you can get more restoration points for your armor, or you can either work at engineering and changing how hacking works or things like that. You can really create a different character, and it has a lot of replayability into the game as well. You can go back through and play the whole game again and create a totally different Robocop, playing through the same level, but the combat feels totally different, because this game is 95% combat. So let's conclude. Robocop Rogue City is a great game with only a handful of flaws. It's a great pick up and play. For those who like a great storyline, brilliant FPS gameplay, and a great nostalgia trip. So I highly recommend this game. I wouldn't pay any more than 20 bucks for it, but still it's something that you can keep going back to, rebuild your character, and play through again. So if you want to see my stupid ass play through this game, click on this link below. I get through as far as I can, and I try and make it a little bit more entertaining. So take care of yourself. Safe sex.